All right, we're live. Welcome to another David Rams live stream. And today I'm with Benjamin from Viral Vegans. So welcome, Benjamin, to the stream, to the channel.
Thank you. Yeah,
awesome.
Happy to be here. Yeah.
So you are the activist, well, one of the activists who tricked KFC into inviting you into the grand opening at the Helsinki branch, the first KFC in Finland, right? First ever.
Yes.
Okay.
True.
And they invited you in to give a speech about how much you love chicken. That was what they were inviting you for, right?
Yeah, or actually, I took the space. Of course, they didn't want me to talk about it, so I was like, okay, let's go.
But they thought you were going to talk about how much you like KFC, though. That's why
I introduced myself as the tent guy because I was sleeping 3 nights in the tent, so I was like, okay, now I will reveal what was the reason for me sleeping in the tent. And this, already the tent thing went really viral. People thinking that I like chicken. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, because they were giving. So let's set the premise for people that don't know. They were giving away a lifetime supply of KFC, right, for the first customer. Was that the deal they were doing?
Yeah. Like for 1 year, they gave free.
Oh, 1 year. Okay.
Yeah.
And you were that person. You camped out for 3 nights to win that prize, right? But not really.
Yes.
Right.
That was my That was what I was there for. Yes, exactly.
It's amazing, and it's 3 nights. It's cold as well. Right? It's Helsinki. This is Finland, man. It must have been freezing.
Yeah, it was like the first night was freezing. It was like under 0 degrees. So yeah, my feet were frozen.
So it's such a brilliant idea. So let's take a look. So you camp out for 3 nights. They think you're there to claim the prize of a 1 year supply of KFC. You take the stage to tell everybody about. I guess they're thinking this is the guy who slept outside. He must be telling us all now how much he loves KFC. So let's go take a look at what you actually did then, shall we? Let's take at least a bit of a look at what happened when you stood up on the stage. The tent guy, the guy who just slept outside KFC for 3 days to win the prize. And this is what you did.
Mä teetin, tämän tilaisuuden kunniaksi itselleni teepaidan, koska tämä on niin historiallinen hetki.
Those t-shirts are great, by the way.
Mä oon jonottanut täällä en itseni takia, vaan miljardien kanojen ja muiden sorrettujen eläinten puolesta. Kanat, lehmät, muut tuotantoeläimet ovat kaikki aistivia yksilöitä, aivan niin kuin kissat ja koirat. Se tuleeko kana Suomesta?
The security's already. They didn't give you very long, did they? Before they dived in. They were happy for you to camp outside. They were happy for you to say nice things, but the second you say bad things, or not even bad, you were just saying the truth, right?
Yeah. Just stating the truth, like what is happening to pigs, cows, and chicken, and that's it. Like no mercy.
Yeah.
Straight
in. And so you went on and you spoke about. We're gonna talk about this at length. So let's not play the whole thing. But I'll just quickly get to near the end. You defended the animals. You had told everybody what's happening to the chickens and know how they're treated and how they're killed for for nothing but burgers and how fucked up that is. And then for saying that, they grabbed you, dragged you outside here, and then threw you in this room. Which was like, honestly, this bit looked like pretty scary, to be honest. When they just
I was stripped. You can see from the video, like when they say I was stripped.
It is. You're down. They drag you in this room.
Yeah,
insane, man.
They dragged, and like the most insane thing was like one of my friends. He was like held. His head was like held between the wall and like his neck was between the wall, and we're like. Chill down, like guards. We don't do any harm. Like he was like held like this, and I was like, this is not right. Like what the fuck that? Like
the thing is like I mean we can see it again actually. We can kind of see how aggressive these guys were being. What the hell were they? These are security guards. Like they like what are they thinking? This guy did he trip you up on purpose? Do you think this guy?
No, it wasn't on purpose. I'm sure.
Okay, fair enough.
And it didn't hurt. I was like maybe I was so like flexible or something that nothing happened. But like my friend his jeans were ripped. So I guess there was some kind of.
The thing is that with these security guards, it's like, I don't know what it's like in Finland, but I used to be a security guard and you really don't need a lot of qualification to do this job. You just need a license and this terrible basic training you get, and that's it. So the fact that they grabbed you guys and thought they could, basically imprison you in this room. For if you'd stolen something and they needed to search you, then yes, okay, they have a right to do it. But if you've just spoken, they don't have a right to throw you in a room. That they don't do that. There's no reason to keep you. You've done nothing actually wrong. You've broken the rules of the KFC, fine, but you've not broken the law. So I don't see how they thought they could keep hold of you like that, to be honest.
Yeah. This is like we are doing this with our lawyer because we think that of course this is unjust. We live in a democratic society, so this is
you're taking legal action, right?
Yeah, we are taking legal action. Yeah, definitely.
That's great.
And of course, like, we don't want to talk about the guards or the police. We want to talk about animal rights.
Perfect.
Of course, people are like, this is really bad what the police does. But like what we do to animals is like nothing compared to our suffering or our being locked up in jail for like some 8 hours. So it's not a bad thing.
They locked you up. They took you to an actual jail cell, like a police jail cell.
Yes. So after that.
That's incredible.
After they throw us there, we went to like another detention room inside the mall. Then the police came there, and then they took us to like other part of Helsinki, and we were there until like 8 p.m. And this was like the KFC opened in this Singles Day, so it was like 11th of November, 11/11.
Wow.
So we were like around 8 p.m. that night. We were then released, but like. Without knowing, like I was asking the police, like, okay, tell me what I did wrong. I had like no clue, like, and they were just saying like vaguely, okay, you broke this law, like, like, what is the law? I want to know what is the law. Like, show me the points where what I broke. No, you broke the law. Yeah, like you can't be a police and grab a person and say that you broke the law. Let's go. So
that's crazy, man. It's crazy. It's almost. I think if it were going to happen in any country, that they would just randomly arrest you for practically doing nothing and have the time and do the paperwork, the time to do all the paperwork to keep you in a cell, it would be Finland. Because I'm sorry, there's like no crime in Finland. No one does anything. So maybe they were just like, oh, something's happening. Let's arrest them. We never get to arrest anyone here. I mean, I'm just saying, compared to other countries, I mean, I think Finland's crime rate is really low. So maybe they just got really excited that finally some action was happening. Like, okay, let's just arrest these people because what else are we doing, But no, that's really, all jokes aside, man, that is fucked up that they held you. They can't. This is the thing with the police. It's that like they can hold you against your will if what you're doing is causing harm to others, right? That's why the law is in place. But what you were doing was exercising your right to free speech in a public place. Now, the private building, they have every right to remove you from that building. That totally okay. KFC can kick you out, no worries. But once you're out on the street, it's over. You can stand there and continue. And the police can request that you move, but they need to have a reason to request that you move that like by law. Otherwise, no, you're not moving. It's a public space. You need to prove that I'm causing harm in some way, right? Or like some kind of disturbance by opening my mouth. I'm not swearing. I'm not showing it. I'm not saying anything rude, inappropriate. I'm just talking about animal agriculture. Like, you can't move me. It's crazy that they just full on arrested you.
They just arrested. They took us and that's it. And I guess they said something like that. Yeah, we tried to prevent a crime from happening, and they had like false information saying that we were not in the queue. They said that okay, we were like not giving people the right to queue there because we were outside the queue. So like the communication was okay. They said that the communication was wrong, but like eventually they said that okay, they were blocking the queue of the KFC, but the KFC queue was elsewhere. So yeah.
I guess they're desperately looking for something because they have nothing. When I first saw that, I couldn't even believe it, to be honest with you. I still can't believe it. But so it must have been really nerve-wracking for you to go from. So when you were camping out, I imagine you were thinking a lot about, okay, what am I going to say? What am I going to do? Like, how's it going to be? And one of the questions I wanted to ask you was, when I've done disruptions before, I've always had this before you go up and speak, you're like, oh God, this is about to piss. I'm about to upset some people, right? I'm about to piss some people off. I'm about to ruin some people's days, right? Because this is kind of what the point of a disruption is that you're shocking people. They're thinking about things they never thought about before, and they blame you, the messenger. They don't think about the animals. They're just angry at you for saying this stuff. But it seems like that wasn't the case for you. So like how was it then? First of all, how was it before? Were you nervous? Were you worried? And then how was the response of the people that were watching?
Yeah, like to be honest, like it was Sunday, so I had like with one day prior, I decided that I will go, and I was like, okay, I was like, I don't want to do this, or like, I knew I wanted to do it, but I was like, okay, like, what will other people think? This will this ruin my reputation and everything? And then I was like, okay, we had this viral vegans chat. I just posted there that, okay, I am going no matter what. Join me, I will go. And yeah, of course, like my heart started to pound when the KFC people came. Like it was like Tuesday, so the first night, and they come and, do you want to have chicken from the restaurant? They had some like customers already going in, like these kind of pre-customers, and then I'm like, oh, I will wait for the chicken because you know, like I'm tempting here, so I'm like a serious guy that I'm not like giving in too easily.
That's so funny. Oh my
God.
God.
Know, like trying to navigate, and like
that's pretty clever. It's pretty clever to think on the spot, man. That's clever. Yeah.
And journalists came and interviewed me. I was inside the tent, and I was like, I don't want to give up my identity. And I said, like, I love chicken. And of course, I love chicken. That's the whole point why I was there. But like, people, of course, thought that who is so crazy tenting in Finland? Like, it's so like cold outside and raining and stuff. And so, yeah, I tried to like really try to not let my identity leak. Because if people knew that, okay, they saw my face in the news that, okay, this guy is waiting for the KFC, it would have been like obvious that this guy is like a vegan activist. So I was like, okay, I need to really not talk to any non-vegans or to my family or anybody who is not joining the protest itself. So yeah, it was kind of hard, but yeah,
I imagine.
Like, yeah, let's go. And yeah, the reception was amazing. Like everybody loved it, like almost, yeah, like people who eat meat, and they thought that it was like a great thing. And like still when I walk with with this t-shirt that you saw on the video, like people like just last Friday somebody was like, this is the best t-shirt I've ever seen. And
that's like, awesome, dude. I think it's easy. You've done a good thing in the sense of it's easy to get people behind you when you're attacking monstrous business like KFC, I think. And I'm not even attacking, but like people love a good joke. So I've been trying to also do some of this. I think this is kind of what you did. You did a great combination of activism and also it's troll. It's a comedy thing. It's funny, but it's for a good reason. And when the butt of the joke is KFC or McDonald's or Burger King, it doesn't matter if you're vegan or not, everybody's going to laugh because, well, who gives a shit? It's just KFC. They're billionaires. Like we can make fun of them all day. So what you achieved this perfect balance of like kind of comedy troll and disruptive activism at the same time. And I really think as we move forward into like kids are getting younger and younger on the internet, right? And they're getting more and more involved in YouTube and Instagram, TikTok. Like the TikTok generation, this kind of thing reaches them, right? And or not just them. I think it reaches everyone. But I think especially now people are on TikTok and stuff. So this kind of activism, I think there's a really big future in it. And I think it was such a great idea and executed so well. And even though you said you were nervous, man, when I watched the video and I saw how you took that coat, the jacket off, let's watch it back, right? Because you did it with such a, like, I don't know, dude, taking off, this sounds really weird, but taking off a hoodie, like the way you did, that's not easy. And especially if you're nervous, the speed you get it off, look, it's like, boom, straight off, boom, t-shirt's out. You were just like, it was epic, dude. It was a really epic move. It was like Superman style. And the t-shirt's there, and then you just start into the speech. Honestly, if you can get that kind of like efficiency on every one of your disruption events, this is why it went viral, dude. Like it was not just the act itself, but the execution was so good. How could it not go viral? Like how could that not, So dude, I'm really, really inspired by it, really impressed by it, man. Really good.
Thanks. Yes.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean about the hoodie though? Because if you're nervous and you grab the zipper, I mean that, you know what I mean? You could have stumbled, get stuck. Everyone's like looking at you, but it was just boom. There you go, guys.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
I even threw the, like, of course I was such in like euphoric state that I just threw it. But the guards were so nice that they brought the hoodie to the jail, so I still got it, even though it was in the. They were kind enough to bring it with me.
That's nice of them to, nice of them to bring you your hoodie after they fucking arrested you.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Like, don't be mad. We brought your hoodie. Don't put any charges on us. So.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, they get a few points for that. Okay, they redeem themselves very slightly for not letting you freeze to death in the cell. At least that's something. So the camping for 3 days, it was brutal. So it was worth it. You think it was worth it for sure, right?
Like
I agree.
When I was in the police car going from the shopping center to the cells, I was like crying, or like it was so. I was like, I didn't know what's happening outside in the world. Do people know? I had no connection to the outside world, but I was like, this was the best thing I could do, and I was like, absolutely, like amazing thing.
So let's get into something here. We're going to get a bit more serious now. Why did you do it? So, what's your deal, man? What's your background? Because you're quite young, right? How old are you?
I'm 24 years old. So
24. So give us kind of your backstory then. How long have you been doing this kind of thing? How long have you been vegan? Like what give us like the kind of what's happened before now, and then what brought you here? Yeah.
So like 5 years ago, I became vegan. My big brother, who's also in the video, or who was also arrested, he watched first Earthlings, and he became like a vegan straight watching Earthlings, and then he said that, okay, you should watch this Earthlings. And I was like starting to kind of quit eating meat, and then I just watched Earthlings, and it wasn't like a super big awakening for me, but after that I just stopped. I became vegan. So I also, after that, watching that documentary, I became vegan. Then I guess life, slow by slow, I became more serious vegan. So of course, not using leather and trying to avoid all animal products as much as I can. Of course, it's unfortunate that all our laptops and phones have some animal ingredients, but of course, like to the point that it's somehow possible and convenient. I try to avoid all. Practical. Like I avoid all animal products and of course animal exploitation. And then like this summer, I was to my brother like, okay, I already did many kinds of vegan activism. I try to get our university to go fully vegan, and like I'm involved in many issues like beyond veganism also. So I was to my brother that he's talking about animal exploitation and everything, and I'm like, okay, you need to get your act together, that like you can't just talk, you need to act. I was like challenging him, and then we started together this. It was like before Viral Vegans, we were like Viral Veganism. But then like we thought that, okay, people are like, oh, this is veganism is a religion and blah, 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 like all the basic stuff. So then we were like, okay, we are vegans. We are a community of people who want to stop animal exploitation. So we just branded our name in the KFC week when we did this action. And then like before this KFC, we basically did street activism in Helsinki every week. We had like a VR set. We showed like with virtual reality glasses, like what is
I've seen them. Really effective stuff. And try to talk to people that what is it to be in a Finnish factory farm, like show the reality. Like I was really disturbed that like I've studied now 5 years in uni, and every day going to the universities like restaurant, and like I have seen nobody has ever talked about food, where it comes from, and I like how is this possible? We are in the university and we pretend that we are so like somehow aware of the problems and everything, but nobody has ever stood up there and showed that, okay, this is what happens if you go and eat meat or animal products. Stop it. So like that was the inspiration, that we need to really show the truth to all people. And of course, everything stems from the like goal that we will stop speciesism like as soon as possible. Okay. And I can show you here, someone's just made a comment and they've actually sent a super chat through. So thank you, Matt. Sent $10 super chat. It says KFC also got out of awarding free mutilated chickens to the first person by this great action. So you saved countless lives right there. Great work. I guess they're mentioning because they didn't get to give away that 1 year, KFC supply to you. Did they give it to anybody else?
Like I have to be honest that like if you want to understand my life in the KFC week, I worked like the whole week. Like I was calling my friends, I was organizing, like it maybe looks like that there was just 3 of us, but there was a whole team of us, like people who were like sending these press releases and stuff. So it was like I was sleeping in the tent every night, but like the last night it was like something like I was in a shopping mall in a toilet. It was like a 24/7 open shopping mall, like in a toilet. I was working till 3 a.m. or something. I had like 2 laptops. When both of the laptops battery ran out, I had nothing to do. I couldn't anymore work. So then I returned to my tent, and then I'm like, oh shit, there were like 3 people or 4 or 3 people like before me, and I was like, okay, they were saying that we are first, and I had agreed with the KFC's CEO that okay, I mean I'm first in the queue, so I was like I'm not starting to talk with them. But then the KFC people were like, okay, you lost the spot because you weren't. We checked that because I was like away just working because it's really cold to work.
Oh my god, yeah.
So I missed the spot, but like we really got everything we wanted. We raised awareness of animal exploitation
and they would have probably, even if you were first. I mean, thank you, Tofu Matt, I appreciate it. But even if you were first, they would have given it to somebody else anyway, wouldn't they? They would have given it to second place, but still, it's still important. It obviously doesn't take away from what you did. Still fantastic. And you mentioned just then speciesism. So is this the goal of this action? Was obviously, as you said, to bring awareness to as many people as possible. So your ultimate goal though is to bring awareness of speciesism and try to end it, or what is your kind of what is your end goal? What is the perfect end goal for you?
Yeah, like the perfect end goal is exactly that we won't oppress animals, and of course speciesism is about oppressing animals and thinking that okay, certain animals have more value and more worth, and it's really like of course human centered. So yeah, of course we believe that in Viral Vegans that all animals are sentient beings and have the right to live and exist. So this is the end goal. And of course, like especially with this action, we want to not point out too much about KFC, but like all of us as individuals have the responsibility to not like support murder and like killing of sentient beings, and of course the immense suffering that all these animals suffer in these conditions. So yeah, this is what we want to raise. And like it's easy to like criticize big corporations and point the finger to everybody like, oh, there you are, like this is wrong. But then when it comes to your own actions, everybody has the obligation to not support violence and death. So yeah, like this is what we want to really emphasize when we do these activities, that we just want to find like the perfect things that can launch people's imagination and like grab their attention and like disturb their normal way of thinking, because people just go to the restaurant and they don't even think about the violence and suffering that happens. And of course it's like always behind closed doors where this happens, this violence. So yeah.
And the thing you said then about people, they like to blame the big corporations or point the finger and say, hey, they're so bad. It is a very, very common thing actually that you see people do. They will, especially, I don't want to be mean here, but I'm just saying from my experience, especially environmentalists do this. Climate protesters, they often and also not only climate protesters but more anarchists and the people who are kind of in this world, they often refuse. I mean, it's also people outside of that, but anyway, there's just a very common thing of people refusing to take personal responsibility for things because the system is broken. They say the system's broken, so we're all unethical, without realizing that yes, okay, fine. Even if we agree the system's broken, there are still more and less ethical decisions within the broken system. It's not like the system's broken, so I'm just going to go and murder people. Like, no, okay, it's a broken system, and I'm not going to. I'm still contributing to the system, but I'm going to do the best I can to not contribute to the worst things in it, like animal agriculture, or, if you live in like, for example, if you lived in India where they have casteism, which is basically a form of racism, if you're against it, you're still in a system that is casteist, right? But you can, in your personal life, you can say, no, I refuse. I'm going to support as many people as I possibly can from like lower castes because I don't want. I know the system hates them, but I don't. And it's the same thing here in our system, right? There are lots of things that are wrong, but it doesn't mean you support them, or you can choose not to, right? Like animal agriculture being a key one. Do you find a lot of people come out with that shit as well, like that? Well, everything's wrong, so why should I try? You ever hear that?
Yeah. I guess this is a problem that many people support, like initiatives where, like, let's say vegan food becomes the only served food, like that. Yeah, it's really great that all our parties are vegan and stuff, but then when it comes to their own decisions, they are like that. Okay, but the system has to change, not us. Like the system is the thing, and like
exactly,
and like our approach is that, like, be the change you want to see in the world. Like
exactly,
like
it's like it's the most logical way of dealing with it. Like, well, how can you?
The system. Yeah, just say. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I would just say that of course the system have to change also, and it will change when we change. And like I'm also lobbying that the universities go vegan, but I'm always like trying to point out to people that okay, we can go vegan now, and it's possible and like viable.
Absolutely, exactly. Like the system might not change tomorrow, but you can.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. It's like,
start from yourself.
It's like, dude, like, yeah, exactly. Like, look after yourself, change yourself first before demanding that the system changes. How can you demand the system changes if you won't even change yourself when you absolutely can right now? It's madness, isn't it? We've got a few super chats. We've got one from Prakar, by the way, says didn't say anything, but just sent through a super chat. We got a nice one here from
I think from India.
I assume it's rupees, so yeah. Thank you so much, Prakar. I appreciate it. And we have Lloyd says, thanks for speaking up for the most oppressed sentient beings. Thank you so much, Lloyd. Lloyd Christmas, that's a cool name. And I think that's just I'm just trying to keep up with them as we go in case sometimes I miss them. So okay, we've talked about the positive people responded very positively. I think everybody in here agrees with what you're saying. The vegans especially will agree with everything we're saying here. The non-vegans, the thing is with the non-vegans watching, just a quick message to you: if you might disagree with vegans, but you've got to pick a side with this, right? Because clearly the system is not supporting vegans here. The system arrested this vegan and put him in jail for a whole day for speaking up for the animals. So that should tell you all you need to know. If you don't align with vegans for some reason, well, you're aligning with the police in that situation. Do you really want to align with people like that? Do you really want to be part of a system that punishes people for being kind to animals? If the answer's no, then go fucking vegan. Stop bullshitting yourself. Stop bullshitting us. And that brings me to the next point now. Were there any angry people at the event? Like angry people on social media, angry people there, or anyone write any bad news thing about you? Like, tell us a bit about the not so good responses you had, if there were any.
Yeah, like the response was really great, I would say. Like, yeah, there was like
It's really good.
some person apparently was also arrested, but he wasn't part of our group. But like the response was so good because the measures were so drastic and like so big. And yeah, like we've got few death threats, but like
oh shit,
I guess, yeah. But I'm sure
really,
like, if you are a vegan activist, that's what you can expect to have.
Death, so, oh my god!
There was like one was in my Facebook that like make a like help the Finnish nation and just shoot your own head out or something like this. And I was
my god!
Yeah, I don't know like how to react, but like I guess you have to kind of laugh. I want to love this person, and I hope he will become vegan and his life will be good. I don't want to hate, but it's kind of funny to get those kind of messages when you are trying to talk about love and like compassion. That like, how can you turn that into a death threat? It's like it doesn't it doesn't fit into my mind in any way. So it's kind of absurd in my opinion.
I think people that send these kinds of messages are not okay. Obviously, they're not all right. They very angry people. You could always keep a hold of those though, because I'm sure some news companies would be interested in sharing that as a story, like the KFC vegan guy got death threats, because that and it's more attention, right? It's more media coverage.
More for the animals,
Absolutely. Definitely worth considering that as well.
Yes.
But that's so apart from the death threats, and has anyone stopped you in public and said anything bad to you or negative, or has it all been good things in public?
No negatives, at least in public. And
in person.
I'm always surprised, like when people come. Oh, I'm really happy that people come, and like I've been always going with this shirt, and I'm like, are my classmates like disturb me always having the same T-shirt? But I want to keep it because I want to always. There are people that I haven't seen, so random people stopping by and saying that it was a great action. And yeah, like I'm always like, okay, what is your diet? Like I always turn, even in these short interactions, I'm like, okay, do you know this vegan challenge? Go and try it out. Do more research. Like, yeah, I'm always trying to. It's a good opening for the conversation to have this T-shirt, because then I can be like, okay, but what are you doing? Like, if you got the message of our action, you would become vegan, because of course, like animal exploitation is wrong, and that's why I was tenting. So yeah, I try to like talk to people, and that's really good way to do activism, just wearing a T-shirt and walking in the streets and getting attention by that.
Definitely, dude. It's a good T-shirt. It's a good big clear message. So I can imagine a lot of people are influenced by it or want to get into a chat with you. Excuse me. I mean, you're in Finland, so I've done some activism and outreach in Finland before, and people. It's difficult to get people to talk a lot of the time because I find Finnish people to be a little bit withdrawn. Let's say to say it kindly, withdrawn. So what are the give us some of the common things you've come across when you're doing the VR outreach, or maybe during this event. Like, what's some of the excuses or arguments you've had people come at you with, or excuses to not be vegan, or arguments against you and against veganism?
Yeah, we were just coming today from an animal sanctuary in Finland, and we were talking in the car with other fellow vegans that like we were like this that okay, I've reduced my consumption of red meat. That is like the biggest thing that you always hear, I'm a good person, that don't judge me, that I'm in the way of going vegan, or kind of I am on the way. And like, I guess the climate thing always comes up. So and we are like, really, our message is the animal rights. We are an animal rights movement. Everybody knows the climate stuff. Everybody knows the pandemics, the health stuff. So we wouldn't bring anything new to the table. And we are not like an animal welfare organization. We are not like that. Okay, the chicken needs 2 square meters instead of 1 square meter. Of course, it's a good thing, but like we believe that we just need to stop. Like, period. Like, no, we can't like support any kind of violence against animals. So yeah, I guess like this kind of reductionist approach, and like or like and a really common thing is like, you are doing a great work and keep up the good work. Like, just go ahead. But I'm like, if you really like our work, the best way to support it is to go vegan. Like, there is a controversial like talks, because people are like, they kind of know it in their heart, but they are not yet willing to do that leap because they are afraid, or I don't know, they think that, is this too radical or something?
Oh, so they're just lazy. Yeah. It's laziness, and they don't want to change. I think I truly believe it's just a pure kind of selfish bullshit that the main reason people don't actually go all the way through when they and I think also it's tough because a lot of the big organizations have this kind of problem, which you guys, sounds like you're kind of having it too, and people say, great work, good stuff, and your reaction, your intuition says thank you so much for supporting me, but then it's just lip service. It's not. You know what I mean? You feel kind of bad for them because they put the thumb, they go like, oh, well done. And then you're like, oh yeah, thank you. Are you also vegan then? No. And then it's kind of like, it goes from a very supportive message to a, hey, fuck you, don't judge me. And it's like, well, I mean, we kind of have to. It's not really, we can't let you walk away feeling like you've done something just because you said well done, right? You are paying for what we're trying to stop. And a lot of big organizations have this exact problem because they get funded by non-vegans. And if they tell them, hey, you guys are fucking hypocrites, then the funding stops and they can't do the activism. So it's like Peter, for example. I'm pretty sure Peter's a good example of this. So they probably get a lot of funding. I've not got the evidence of it, but I'm assuming a lot of non-vegans will give Peter money because they support the cause. What's Peter supposed to do? Say, nah, keep your money, and we'll stop doing these events because of principle. It's where do you draw the line? It's tough, isn't it?
Yeah, it's tough, but like at least we want to bring that message of like love and compassion. 100%, not like that. Okay, 70%. We are
I totally agree. Yeah.
Like if you are 95% vegan, go vegan fully. Like if you understand that it's unethical to eat animals, you can't like justify a single bit of it. Like not even
of
like
course.
I'm just doing it this tiny bit. No, it's not like fine. So
I totally agree.
And like especially we want to push like the vegetarians to become vegan because most of the vegetarians are like animal exploitation is really awful and like they hate the conditions, and then I'm like, okay, the only way to stop this from happening is going vegan.
Exactly.
And that's what we really want to like. Also, that's a target group for us.
I guess what I was mainly mentioning, though, I agree with everything. I guess the kind of point I wanted to get into a bit more is how would you transition from somebody who comes to you and says, hey, Benjamin, I really love what you're doing. I think your activism at KFC was fantastic. I'm a big supporter. I'm actually a donor for you. I send your organization money because I love your activism. And then great. And then you're like, great, are you vegan? And they say no. So this is what I'm curious about, like, because this is probably going to happen to you as you do more of these great events against these. How are you going to handle that? Like, how do you get that person to listen to you without, having them go, oh, fuck you, I don't support you anymore? Because like I said, it's kind of like you don't want to turn somebody like that away, but you also want to hold them accountable. Of course, you want to hold them accountable, but at the same time, they're fully supportive of you. So it's how would you handle that situation? Because they're not supportive of the animals. Let's be clear; they're supportive of you. So how would you balance this out if this happens to you? Which I'm sure it will, by the way.
Yeah, just to make it clear that we are not an association or anything. So you can donate us money. Like the best way you can do something for us is to go vegan and spread the message wherever you are. And of course, you can join our Viral Vegans group. Yes.
Sure. But, so take away the money. Take away the money. They're just they're doing funny. They're like, I share all your stuff. I love you. You're great. I share your videos everywhere. All my friends are influenced by you, and then they're not vegan. How would you take that compliment, take all that support, and then somehow turn it onto them without really kind of turning them off and making them, it's hard to hold someone accountable, isn't it, in that situation? A little bit tricky.
Yeah, so we have watched, I'm pretty sure many of you are familiar with Earthling Ed, but he has some cool videos about vegan outreach. So yeah, he has this kind of Socratic method. So we are, of course, trying to learn always from our mistakes and communication style, but we have this method of like asking questions. You're like, maybe some of you have gone to therapy. So the therapist is like asking questions. So we want to be the therapy. I don't know how to say it, but yeah. Vegan therapist, yeah, we want to be the therapist to just like, help them to make the connections themselves. So we can start with the question that, like, of course you're like, oh, super cool that you are interested. And then when it becomes obvious that the person is not vegan, I'm like that, okay, like, what do you think that, is it wrong to cause like unnecessary suffering to animals? And then like, of course, if he's so positive about our stuff, he would be like, yeah, definitely. And then we move on from there, and then we're like, okay, so what kind of animal products do you consume yourself? And maybe the person is vegetarian or like eating everything. And then then
they're eating things ethically. They believe in high welfare and all these things. That's why they support what you're doing. They think you're on the same. They think they're in the same team as you, right?
Yeah, and then we would continue that. Okay, like, do you think that it's like right to kill an animal for their flesh? Is it just right that the animals are bred into this world so that their lives can be taken away? And like, can we justify killing for our can we justify with pleasure or like culture, or that it's easy? Are these things that we can justify? Are these things that we can like justify the killing of sentient beings like people? kind of many times make the realization that no, it's not fine, and then maybe they live with a cognitive dissonance for the rest of their life, or for some moment before they realize that okay, I have to stop. But like, people don't actively think that they are harming, they just try to forget it and like try to not think about it. And of course, like the thing that we also do is I would show first the video to the person so that they can open their eyes, and after that together. So yeah,
one of the really common things I've seen, especially
how I would roll.
Oh, sure, man. Yeah, I think so. I think we're a bit delayed right now. Can you?
Yeah,
am
I?
Okay. Yeah, I can hear. I can hear the
delay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now maybe it's okay. Let's see.
Okay, cool. Let's see. So I made a video where I was talking about quite a famous YouTuber called Gideon. He did a prank in a vegan restaurant. He ate meat in a vegan restaurant for a prank. And we agreed after that, I had a live stream with him, and he agreed that, okay, he should have just used Beyond Meat or Impossible Meat and not actually done real meat. So he's not a bad guy. He understood why it was kind of, it was very fucked up. But in my video I made about him, I said that he's responsible for these animals being killed. And that, funnily enough, that seems to have been a very common point of argument from the people commenting who are not vegan. They're all saying he was not responsible for it. He didn't do it. He didn't kill those animals. He just ate the burger. He just ate the meat. He didn't kill any animals. So I don't understand why you're saying he's responsible. And it's incredible, this disconnect, like you were just talking about. Whoop. What happened there? I'm gonna have myself bouncing around, but yeah, just saying that people really do disconnect with the meat from the animal. They were defending Gideon, this guy, defending he didn't do anything wrong. He just bought it from the shop. He didn't do anything wrong. It's incredible how sometimes difficult it can be to have someone connect that when they buy something, they support the action of what it took to get that thing to the shop. That's what they're paying for. They're not just paying for the item, they're paying for what happened before it got there too. And I think that's you've cut out, but I'll just keep rambling on until you come back. I think your connection's really poor right now.
Yeah.
Can you hear anything I'm saying? Okay, while you're going for that, I'll read a few super chats out whilst this is happening. Maybe reset your internet if you can hear me. I'll just pull you out until I can see it's fixed. So, Lloyd Christmas says, people vehemently oppose being kind to all sentient beings. About every facet of life promotes animal cruelty. Carnist indoctrination is so powerful that I believe it's more powerful than religion. Lloyd, you've got a good point there. I think, if anything, it is a religion, but it's almost an unspoken religion. It's almost like a subconscious religion, like we're all born into and we break out of. It is an incredibly powerful indoctrination, especially when you consider the heads of these industries, the some of the richest people around, and they've been lobbying in politics and governments for so long as well. So yeah, I absolutely agree. I think he's back.
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah,
perfect.
Yeah, sorry,
You're back.
The connection was lost.
It's okay, man. Don't worry.
Stuff that
yeah,
the meat industry is like we have to silence this person. No, just
this happens to me so often, so I think maybe it's something. I'll quickly just go through another super chat while we're here. Tofu Matt, again, thank you so much, Tofu Matt, and also thank you to, sorry, I just forgot the username, but Lloyd, again, thank you. If I didn't say thank you. Tofu Matt, non-vegans donating money to PETA is not a payoff for abusing animals like paying a tithe to a church. It doesn't remove the abuse. I absolutely agree, Matt, and I'm glad we got into how to navigate that situation of someone who absolutely loves you, supports you, maybe even wants to donate, but isn't vegan. And it was a really good answer that you gave, Benjamin, about how to, ask a few questions and try not to make them feel like because it's not a nice thing for someone to say, I love you, and you say, fuck you, animal abuser. It's kind of like, oh shit, maybe we need to somehow work this so that they still feel the love, and maybe, they listen to us, right? You got to find that balance between the two. So that's really cool the way you explain that. And I was just explaining about the video I made where basically a lot of comments I get, they say, we're not responsible for the animal dying. We just buy the meat. Okay. So this is something that I hear a lot as a response, which is, I guess what you were saying earlier, that cognitive dissonance, the disconnect, I didn't do it. I didn't slit the throat, so I'm not responsible. Right. It's really common, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess like people, or like, yeah, people want to distance themselves from the thing happening. Like, I guess there is the great quote that if the slaughterhouses were, if the glass of the slaughterhouses were made out of glass, we'd all be vegan.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, definitely. Like that's the reality. Like, yeah, like we were just today in an animal sanctuary, and I saw first time we were just playing with the pigs and the cows and the sheep and the chickens and everything, and I was like, okay, yeah, if people had to if people had to come there, and okay, like of course there are some crazy people who would still kill their own meat, and it doesn't justify it, but like, let's say
No, of
most
course,
of,
of course.
most of the people wouldn't do it when they could go to a shop and buy like some tofu or soy or something to eat. Like why would you do, like, when you have these options, like how can you justify your behavior? So yeah, I guess it's just we are so much distanced away from the animal abuse, so it's kind of easy to fool ourselves and to not, and our culture like supports it. It's the ignorance is like the status quo. And like the one thing that I really love to do when I talk with people is like start from my own experience, that okay, I've done the same shit, and I'm not like putting a saintly thing on top of my head that okay, I'm always being really good and kind towards animals. No, that hasn't been the case. I've done all the same stuff, eaten meat, and so yeah, you can do it also. Like, I guess it gives hope for people to kind of relate to me, to my experience.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's always good to try and be a little, try to be relatable if you can with people. It helps and have them imagine themselves as a vegan. That's also very helpful, I find, to say to, I like asking a question like saying, so if you woke up tomorrow and you were allergic to every animal product, you just developed a severe allergy, you can no longer eat any animal products, what would you have for breakfast? And then they start thinking, what would I have for breakfast? And then they go, I don't know, oats with some almond milk, some fruits, peanut butter, something. Oh, that sounds really good, actually. What about lunch? Maybe have some rice and some, I don't know, some chickpeas, maybe some veggies again, maybe some tahini sauce. That also sounds pretty good. And then dinner. And then next thing, they're already, and then they've done it. It's not such a big deal anymore. You've literally just imagined a full day of eating as a vegan. It took you 2 minutes on the spot, no research. You did it. And if they can't figure it out, then you start to say, okay, well, what plant foods do you like? I really enjoy whatever. I like potatoes a lot. Okay, great. So let's think of a potato dish that would have lots of protein and nutrition, and that you could eat for lunch or dinner. So once you get people imagining it, I think that's a really good way of doing it. And it's part of the relatability, like you said as well, because you're there and you can say, this is what I did. So I think that's really powerful, man. I agree.
Yeah,
absolutely agree. I had a great question for you, but then I got all caught up with this question. I got into this flow, and I was like, "Oh shit, my question's gone now." So, what do your family think about it? By the way, your activism. I was curious about this earlier, but I didn't know when to bring it up. But with the direct action, because I can imagine, are they a bit scared about what's going to happen?
Yeah, like the response was great. Even like all our family members and family's friends, and like the best was my grandma was calling me, and she was like saying that, yeah, in the church, like she's over 80, and the people were, I guess, even more old, and they were like, yeah, we really support this guy. He's a real MVP. And I'm like, yeah, of course not with these words. They don't use these cool words. The message was that like plus 80 people. Plus 80 years old people are like, yeah, let's go. Like, so yeah. And of course, like some might have been like, don't know how to react, but like the majority of like people and my family and close relatives, or like family friends and stuff, they were like full support, and like, yeah. So
that's cool, man.
Yes.
And how what I'm going to ask you next. This is not a nice question. I'm sorry. Yeah. How many of them, if any of them, are vegan? Your family, like close family friends.
And my big brother, who was also taken to jail, he's vegan, but the rest are not yet. This is like a way to put it. Like, of course, someday they will become vegan, or our society will be vegan. Like, yeah, it will be illegal in the world to kill animals. So yeah, it's just a matter of time. And of course, with my family, like with my friends who are non-vegan, we always bring up these things and try to share the compassion and love towards these sentient beings.
And they are what we were talking about earlier about how some people are very supportive and very, yes, we're behind you.
Yes.
That is them, right? They're fully behind you. They fully support you, but they don't. It's such a crazy. It's incredible to think. I can't imagine myself, and you probably can't imagine this too. None of us can. Saying to somebody like, say someone's protesting for another cause. Let's say it's for I don't know, women's rights in Saudi Arabia, and a place where the women's rights are really not very. They don't have any rights, right? So you say, yes, I'm fully behind that. I'm fully behind that. While you yourself, as a man, don't let your wife leave the house and don't let her drive and make her do things for you. It's kind of like it's basically that, isn't it? It's like, yeah, I'm fully supportive of you. I'm fully supportive of women's rights, but my wife's not going out. No, she's not allowed. She doesn't have rights. No. Just my lifestyle, I don't want women's rights, but for everywhere else, yes, women's rights is great. That's kind of what it is when someone says, I support what your activism is, but not in my own life. I'll keep abusing animals, but I support you trying to stop it. It's just very, it's the most cognitively dissonant thing. And I'm not focusing only on your family here. I'm talking about every vegan's family basically is in this boat, I think. So many people are in this position where they say, yes, my mum supports me, but she also doesn't, because she doesn't fully go all the way. Isn't it a crazy kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? What's that word when things, it's like an oxymoron, but there's a paradigm, is it what I'm looking for, the word?
Your paradigm is, you are supporting the paradigm, but you are living in another paradigm yourself. You are living in the animal agriculture paradigm where it's okay to abuse animals, and then you are it's really good that you are animal liberation, but I'll still keep up with my own paradigm. So it's
kind of a paradox, I suppose. Maybe
paradox. Yeah, it's a paradox. How can you support and then but of course, maybe many people were just so this was so clever. So I guess the support comes from just the way that I put myself out there.
Of
they
course.
wouldn't maybe support the cause of animal liberation, but they're that you gotta respect the person who stays 3 nights in the tent and fools the whole media. That maybe especially with these people were just that. Yeah, this was amazing the way you kind of fooled everybody around.
I think you're totally right. I think that's a big element of it, which is great though, because that's what got you a lot of attention, and people will follow your social media now and they'll learn about the other things. I love, by the way, I love how quickly you knew that paradox was the right word, but I actually had to Google it to make sure I understood what it meant. That's just an example of, it's a great example of how I've noticed this with people, and some people I've met in Finland who learned English, and especially Nordic countries seem to know English better than English people. You guys seem to know the meanings and have actually a better vocabulary than most English people, because we don't really get taught as advanced English as you would get taught learning it as a second language. So it's actually really funny. We have a few comments, by the way. I want to hear from Mark, who sent through a donation via Streamlabs, which is not Super Chat. It's actually better if you're going to send a question or anything, do it through Streamlabs. The link is in the pinned comment. It says, if reverence for life isn't its core value, then humanity is barbaric, not civilized, and it isn't civilized. I guess that's just a repeat there. Thanks to you two. I guess I would. Well, I mean, I agree. I can't see. I think I understand what you mean. Yeah, and I think it's true. You gotta. I mean, it depends on the life we're talking about, I suppose. I mean, you don't need to revere. I mean, I suppose it does count for all life, because there's no. If you don't just go around killing plants either for the sake of it, right? It's just for why don't you kill all these plants? It's for necessary reasons. So yeah, absolutely. I think all life should be considered, and not just be needlessly killed, whether they're obviously more so when they're an animal that's fully living, breathing, thinking, feeling, but even down to plants as well. It shouldn't just needlessly kill loads of life for no reason. I think that's. I do stand by that. What is your take on that? Not just plants, but also with, let's say, insects and animals. Are you across the board? Are you like, I know some vegans draw the line at insects and they'll kill a spider or something, which I never really understood that, actually, to be honest. Why would you, right?
Yeah, no, I have compassion for, of course, insects and stuff, and I agree. And we should, and of course, honey is not vegan, even though I'm vegan with I have this honey exception. No, that's not vegan.
It's so common. It's so common. I don't get why a lot of vegans draw that line there. It's like they're still living, and even if they don't have complex pain, it's still completely unnecessary to do anything to them. Just leave them alone.
Yeah.
just
let them,
you know what I mean?
have their own honey.
You just let them have their honey.
Yeah.
If you've got ants in your house, just sweep them out and clean up. Put your food away properly. Don't just wipe them all out with poison. It's just crazy. Like, what's wrong with people? Even vegans do this, like poisoning ants and stuff like that. Obviously, there comes a point where it's like, okay, if it's dangerous, if it's like, if we're talking, you know, there's actual danger. Then, okay, maybe then you gotta. But yeah, I don't want to get too much into that.
Yes.
Go on, sorry.
Yeah, in Finland, I guess there are no deadly spiders, or like we don't have problem with this. But like, of course, let's say. Yes.
It's funny how we got into I actually tend to avoid the insect discussions when I'm debating people, because I'm like, don't take it to insects. But then I feel kind of weird that I've brought it up now for once. Like, why are we talking about insects right now? This is, it's definitely not the most pressing issue we're dealing with today, is it? Absolutely
but
not.
Yeah, I guess still I think that has to be addressed, because of course some people are like, okay, now let's stop killing animals, and now even in Finland there was this fucking, how to say, this boom with insects. Like, no, this is not ethical.
Of eating
efficient.
them.
Of eating them. They tried to introduce insects to the Finnish cuisine, and I'm like, no, this is not the way to go. Like, killing trillions of insects is not the way ahead. Like, let's just.
To be fair, I say it's not something to discuss, but I have been asked this quite a lot. People say, okay, well, you're a vegan. Would you ever consider insect protein? And I'm like, why are you taking it to that place? Like, well, I've just told you where you can get protein. I've just told you all the different things you could get from plants, and you're asking me if I want to eat insects. Why would I want to eat insects? Explain this to me. Why? What the fuck? I don't want to eat cows and chickens and pigs or any animal. Why do you think I would do? Oh, well, insects. Yeah, obviously insects I would. Like, as if, oh, geez, man. People.
Yeah.
So do you think, here's a question for you, man. So you're with, let's first of all, let's define this. So Viral Vegans is you've set this up, right? You and your brother have set this up as an activism organization. You've got your goals to end speciesism. That's your goal, to stop what's happening to animals. Do you see, with you being, I guess I'm not going to ask you if you think your organization can achieve this by yourselves, because obviously I think you're going to be working with a larger network of activists and vegans, right? But with you being involved with everything we've got going on right now, do you think we can see let's not say vegan world, because I don't think that is possible. I think there will always be people who abuse animals. So I don't think we're going to have a vegan world. But do you see us achieving a predominantly plant-based world anytime soon? Do you think that's feasible in our lifetimes?
Yeah, I guess like in one interview in Finland, they want to change the legislation. There is this kind of organization that wants to change the legislation where animals are being given basic rights, like in the same sense that humans have human rights. So at like a strong like binding agreement in our constitution that animals have the basic rights. And that the person who works in this organization said it well. She said it that the change is so near as we want it to be. If we're like always, vegan world will never come, it will never come, because we're just like not doing anything. So it will come, and we just need to go and work and do it together and change the world. Like it would have been the same that the same-sex marriage will never be true in Finland, or women won't have the freedom to vote, or like all big changes have been viewed impossible before they have been done. So of course we will have a vegan world, and we can't, of course, like there will be some people, like there are some people who mistreat humans in our society. Of course there will be people who will somehow mistreat animals, but it should be criminalized and illegal to kill animals and abuse them in our society. So we will achieve it. And of course this has to be my goal, because if I'm like, it will never happen, like why would I be in KFC or do anything if I was like, nothing will change. It's again the system thinking that the system is so big, we can't change it, and then you're like, I will just continue my life. And this is the point. We want to say to all vegans that you have to start talking. It's not enough that you are vegan. That's like the bare minimum, but you have to become a vegan activist. Being vegan is being an activist, period. Like there is, if you know what's happening, you have the responsibility to act. Like if you are just being vegan and I'm shy. I used to be that, like I went to some parties and maybe felt like, okay, is this vegan? Like, sorry that I'm disturbing you. No, you have to be like, you have a message of love, hope. You have to be proud of it and just share the message, talk to people, like be active, go to the streets, do something. Then it will stop. Like in Finland, I guess it's around 1% of the population is vegan. So if we get that mass of people to become like, to talk about these issues globally, Finland, everywhere in the world, we can stop this quickly. But now there is a problem that we are so shy and we have been like somehow brainwashed into this thinking that the meat eating society puts us into that, okay, you have to just keep it as it's your own business and don't judge other people and just stay silent. So yeah, of course the animals will be the victims of this kind of mentality.
I agree. I think that's a really bad problem that we have with vegans, with this, the kind of, so in the UK, I don't know if you know this, but vegans are not the most hated, but they're second place. First, not hated necessarily, but let's say, what was the word that used? There was a study they did anyway. People have the most, that was it, the negative attitudes, that was it. So in the UK, vegans are number 2 in terms of who has the most negative attitude from the public. Number 1 is drug addicts. So when you think about that, you can understand why a lot of vegans don't want to do the things that you just said, don't want to speak up, because why, you know, fuck, people don't hate us, but they have negative connotations and negative attitudes towards us already. And the negative attitude is not even our fault. You know, and you could say the same for drug addicts too, but in our case, it's not like we're actually doing anything wrong. We're not addicts. We're not like, we're not trying to steal, or this is drug addicts. It comes with a lot of things, like a lot of crime, a lot of, you know, things that could impact you negatively as a member of the public. But vegans don't do that. we don't interfere really at all, apart from the odd disruption and the odd farm sit-in, maybe, you know, going to a farm and these, but we don't really impact the public in any kind of negative way. So it's just pure guilt that causes it. And I think a lot of vegans definitely struggle to know how to deal with this when people's, you know, put that wall up, the cognitive dissonance and the guilt. So, but I absolutely agree with what you've said. And I it's very inspirational. And I hope a lot of people watching this would consider going out and trying some of the things you've mentioned, talking more, being more confident, being more comfortable with who you are, and speak. And in the worst case scenario is somebody doesn't like what you have to say, and okay, you don't need to fight with people. The first couple of times, maybe you can say, okay, that's fine, we can stop talking. And then as you get more comfortable, you can say, no, I'm not going to stop talking. You know, it's not like you have to be Earthling Ed the first time you try this, or even Joe, someone like Joey or someone like Benjamin. You know, the first time you try this, you can be bad at it. It's okay. And you could back off and say, actually, I don't want to do this. Next time you get a bit stronger, next time you get a bit more confident, and it keeps growing, right? And I just remembered the question I had for you, the bloody great question that I forgot like 10 minutes ago. Stupidly, it's the best question. It's the one I wanted to get into you with the most, actually. Disruptive activism. A lot of people don't get it. They don't understand why. Why are you now the KFC action wasn't the most traditional disruptive activism, because it was actually a positive disruption. I would say it was something funny, it was something entertaining, so you didn't get any nasty feedback from it. But let's imagine that there was no big event, there was no camping, you just turned up to KFC, walked in and did that. That would not have been the same reaction, would it? That would have been negative. People would have been pissed at you, and even vegans would have been pissed at you. So let's get into disruptions and the point of them then. And why have you decided disruptions are the way to go, knowing that some of them are going to really piss people off? Because you've seen it. I'm sure you've seen it yourself, right? With some of these actions like DXC and stuff like that. So before we close up, give us why should people do disruptions? Because clearly this is your choice of action, right? So why should people do this kind of thing instead of something else?
Yeah. So disruption is a great way to show that those are like culmination points, you know, it's like the tip of the iceberg, those kind of KFC coming to Finland. It revealed something. It was a moment to get people's attention, and I guess those are like really important moments to always do them constantly, so that you can break the barrier, that, you know, the fog that has been in front of people's eyes. So yeah, it's a way to disrupt the thing. And like the thing that when I planned this thing, like this love wins not wings t-shirt and stuff, I always thought that the KFC would love me to be the angry vegan, like fucking meat eaters, like throwing blood to the people and breaking the windows. And so yeah, I wanted to come from an angle that they couldn't use against me. I was calm, I was non-violent. So, you know, I think it's really important that you find the sweet spot, so that you can like really, like, I think most people have a really good perception of me and view me as a good citizen and not like a gangster or something.
Okay.
And yeah, I think it's always important to find the way to speak to people, find the way to their heart, like how can I get their attention most effective ways. Because yeah, maybe not all the communications that vegans do are the best ways, but of course I'm not saying that we just need to talk about love and stuff. We need to also address these issues of exploitation and bring it up front, like that there are many ways to do it, but I think those are really important. And I want to mention, all of you who are watching, I of course recommend that you check out our social media accounts. We just did a stunt recently. I also told David about it, but we went to Aalto University, so it's one of the best universities in Finland. You can find it from our Instagram if you want to show some clips of the video.
Does it have English subtitles?
It doesn't have yet the English subtitles, but it will be up latest tomorrow, I promise. So,
okay.
So all the people who are watching this, you will soon see what it is about the video. But there is a party where there is a dead pig, and they kind of make fun of it and cut their head off. We filmed all of this, and now today, just before coming to this show, we are now again in the news. We are again in the news because yeah, this was again, we wanted to show that, okay, of course, the problem is not the dead pig that they are making fun of, but the problem is that even if this party still has some meat or animal products, it's still exploitation. So yeah, and so these are all the thwant that we do.
Thanks, man. I'm glad I asked that question. I'm glad I remembered it, because the reason I asked it is it's not like, I think it's just an amazing question and I want to ask it because it's great. I wanted to get your answer because I knew it was going to be a great answer, and it was a great answer. I would definitely back that up as well and say, I think you have hit the sweet spot, and it's kind of, I really connect with you when you say that to hit the sweet spot between, it's almost between positivity and negativity. It's the sweet spot between the two. If you can make somebody laugh before receiving a good, strong message, then that's really good. If you can make people agree with you on one thing before hitting them with something they'll disagree with, that's very, very powerful. It's something I've tried to do a little bit with my skits and then some of the parodies that I've done, or just try and make people smile while they're watching a video with a moral message in there. And I agree with you on that, dude. I think for people, especially for people who are new to activism, who maybe don't want to do something like Tash Peterson, for example, who does things a little bit differently to you, or maybe like Joey Carbstrong, who's very provocative, but it's still good. Don't get me wrong; these things are very good. I think the way you're doing it is definitely more approachable for a lot of people to go in with the intention of, okay, we're going to try and hit a sweet spot where we can still represent the animals properly, but also maybe have people be on our side with at least partly, right? Rather than going in and just trying to straight disrupt, actually try and disrupt in a way where they say, I kind of agree with that, and then you're still hitting them with a moral message. I think it's clever, mate. I think it's a smart. So is that what Viral Vegans is all about? Is this kind of how you're going to keep moving forward? Is this the kind of thing you're going to continue doing, or what are the plans for you and Viral Vegans?
Yeah, like the original plan, and the plan still is to get all vegans like activated. Like, yeah, there is so much untapped potential.
I've never heard that before. Activated vegans. It sounds like activated charcoal kind of thing.
like our activism needs to be toward the non-vegans and vegans, because if you are vegan and not yet being like advocating for animal rights and like the end of animal oppression, you have something to do. And like start from where you are from now. Like nobody was born like a perfect speaker or anything like that, that if you are shy or something, just go and like do something, be 1% better, and you will soon be like a good speaker or a good advocate. So start from where you are now, and no action is too small. Like anything you do to end this oppression is a big thing. And when you combine all of those actions of individual vegans all around the world, it will produce a massive change, and we will achieve the animal oppression ending in our history, or like soon it will be history. So yeah.
Damn, bro, this is your first live stream, right? Like YouTube live stream.
Like I've been in one Finnish.
Jeez, in English, it's your first English. Dude, you're inspiring as fuck, man. You're inspiring me.
Thanks.
Like, I do this for a living, and I'm sat here like, shit, this guy's pumping me up right now. Like, you need to come on the channel more often, dude.
Yeah. We can have discussions. We can discuss when our next thing is blown up. Yeah, it will blow up.
Yeah, dude.
This thing that we showed in the university is really horrible. And even if you don't understand the subtitles, watch the video from our Instagram. So.
Okay, yeah. Well, especially once the subs are up, I'll cover that in a Face to Facts Friday, and we'll do like another video about it and stuff like that. Yeah, for sure, dude, for sure. So we have a question, by the way, someone sent through via Streamlabs again. Thank you, DJ Lernal. Says, you've just given us messages right now for the vegans, which has been fantastic. Now, let's finish off with a message to the non-vegans out there. So anyone watching the video, not vegan, or anyone who's going to catch this later on, what do you have to say to them, Benjamin?
Yeah, I guess like watch Earthlings, Dominion, or some documentary about animal rights. Then I guess like start with a soul search. Ask those questions that, okay, is causing animals harm wrong? Like unnecessary harm, because of course eating meat is not necessary for us to thrive in life. And then the second question is that, okay, if you're non-vegan, you are exploiting animals in some way. And then can you justify these behaviors with like the pleasure, like the satisfaction from the food, or like some tradition, or just convenience? Ask these hard questions. Just get a paper, put all the like things that you justify your behavior and all the things that don't justify your behavior, just like plus minus. And I'm sure like this was my realization that, okay, I have absolute no way to justify, and it was like this. Everything changed. So just like, you take a sheet of paper, just put a straight line and plus and minus, and you will like, I don't have to tell you, or David doesn't have to tell you what to do. You will understand yourself that you will become vegan that day when you really do that inventory of yourself. And yeah, I guess do this with your friend. Go and sit with your friend and start from their premises. They might say that, okay, this is what I think, and I think still people will go vegan if they really are honest and like true to their own moral standards. So yeah, I hope you got the point.
They'll find that they agree with absolutely everything that vegans are saying, and then they'll have to make a decision. Either, okay, I'll be a vegan, or I'll be a selfish piece of shit. And nobody wants to be a selfish piece of shit. That's why I'm vegan. That's why you're vegan. Because you're like, okay, either I'm selfish and I'm a real fucking asshole, or I'm gonna be a vegan, right? And it really kind of boils down to that. And you might tell me that's too harsh, but it is the way it is. I was a selfish asshole. I was before. I'm happy to admit that. I still am, but not in that way. Just in a different way now. I'm still an asshole, but not to the animals, right? So
maybe my approach would be also a bit different from yours. That I think that like, think how much better you would feel when you live according to your values. Like,
and when you're not a selfish asshole.
Yeah. Like when you are like in your deathbed and you are like, why did I become vegan so late? You will become vegan at some point if you are like doing the inventory. So start now. Like yeah, like I guess you will realize it when you do this inventory, and it's a relief. It's a like veganism is a thing of joy and love, and that's the message. Like you won't lose anything, you will gain so much when you have a like light consciousness, and you can go to sleep with knowing that, okay, I didn't like harm animals and like attend to these atrocities that are happening like around the globe and in our backyard.
All right, at least I did absolutely everything in my power today to avoid it. I did everything I could possibly do, because going and buying a burger isn't that, right? We know that for sure. We know that for sure.
Yes.
Listen, man, it's been amazing to have you on. Really enjoyed having you here. I think you've been very inspirational, and I think a lot of people in the chat are really pumped. So I hope we've got a few new activists on our hands today.
Yes.
And I'll be in Finland in a couple of weeks for a while, so we can hopefully we'll get over to Helsinki, right, and join some events and stuff. We'll see what you've got going on. Annie and I will be there, so I'm excited for that, bro. So check out Benjamin and Viral Vegans. The link is in the description.
There it is.
Yes.
I'm trying to flip my...
A bit higher. Oh, it's frozen up. It's like, oh, there it is. There it is. Viralvegans.f.fi.
Yeah.
And
we have both. And we have
great.
Like everything. Perfect. Information is in English, so yeah, you can join. Our activism even if you will live abroad. So yeah, we are more than happy to have you.
Yeah, dude, I think I see great things with the organization, man. I'm excited to see what you get up to, and hopefully I can get to a few events wherever I am in the world as it grows as well. But yeah, check out your Instagram is you're quite active on Instagram too, right? Viral Vegans on Instagram. So guys, go and check that out, and also on YouTube as well. All the link to the Instagram TikTok is in my Oh, TikTok too. Okay, shit.
TikTok, we are like TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. So yeah, we try to be approachable everywhere we are.
Well, Viral Vegans, man. Get viral on one of these platforms, right? Yes. On all of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool, dude. Thanks so much for coming on, dude. And thanks everybody for watching. You keep calling out that bullshit, Benjamin. I'm sure you will, and everybody else too. Keep calling out that bullshit. See you all in the next video.
See you.